Hey, what is up, guys? Lucy here for just a quick little announcement. I promise this is going to be sorted out by the next episode. My Streamlabs has been having trouble with recordings recently, and I didn't realize they were wrong with the podcast. So the audio is a bit fucked in this episode, as well as Oof is having some disconnecting errors. So there are quite a bit of technical difficulties here. I did as much audio patching as I could, at least as much as I could manage. So not all of it's fucked. I got as much of it as I could to a normal level between the both of us. But Oof is definitely a lot quieter than I am in some scenes, and that is on me. But yeah, either way, I just want to let you know there are some very special announcements and the last like 10 minutes of the episode. So if you guys don't want to listen to the full episode, I do recommend skipping to the last 10 minutes because we have some very, very important announcements about the future of the podcast at the back there. And yeah, as always, we hope you guys enjoy. What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Hell's Newsletter podcast. It is currently July, so happy July. Happy Canada Day. I know we're a little late on that, but we don't upload on the first of the month. But happy Canada Day to you Canadians. Yeah. So, just like to issue a little trigger warning for this. The first half of this podcast is going to be a bit heavy. For those listening to the audio version, I won't have an exact timestamp. For those watching the video version, I will put a timestamp right here of when you want to skip to, just to skip all like the bad stuff that we're going to talk about, because we'll be getting into some lighthearted stuff later on.
Yep.
But yeah,
I will say, I'm just gonna warn everyone right now. I may disconnect. I just heard lightning outside, and I live in Florida.
Okay, that's good to know at least.
My power may go out at any moment.
All right. If his power goes out, I guess, we'll be finishing up the podcast solo. Let's hope if it goes out, it'll be in the later half.
Yep.
But yeah, so to start out, 4th of July brought some really bad shit to this country. There was a shooting in Highland Park, Illinois.
Yeah.
First of all, actually, real quick before we get into that, I just want to give a shout out to every member of the fire department across the nation. Y'all have dealt with so much on the 4th of July, and I'm so sorry.
Oh yeah.
And the reason I say it is because right near where I live, I'm gonna kind of dox my address here, but right near where I live, there's a mountain. There's two mountains called Twin Peaks. They're right next to each other. They're called Twin Peaks because they have two peaks on them, and that's that. Someone shot a firework off and it hit the mountain, and started a 2-acre fire, and that's like half a mile from where I live. So, yeah.
Jesus.
So that happened.
That's ridiculous.
But yeah, it's nowhere near as what happened in Highland Park. Yeah.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
It was. I saw the. You saw the first like phone video of it happening, like the marching band going by. That was the first thing I heard about it.
I haven't seen any videos.
Oh man.
I'm not gonna lie. I might sound a little bit kind of like bad here, but I'm so damned it's desensitized to shootings. Whenever I hear about one, it's like it's hard for me. It's hard for me personally to like, be outraged when I hear another one, because at this point I'm just kind of like, oh well, another part of the day, I guess. Because I mean, like, come on, they happen every fucking week, every fucking day, actually.
It's a problem.
Yeah, that is the problem, yeah. And I mean, yeah. The shooting did affect quite a bit of people I knew, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So there's that. But yeah. Also, in reference to the shooting, there is a kid, I'm unsure how old they were. I believe they were either 2 or 3 years old or something like that. Very young kid, just put it in perspective. That is now an orphan as a fault of the shooting. There's going to be a GoFundMe. I got it from a couple of friends. That'll be down in the description of the YouTube video. If you're listening to the audio version and you want to donate, feel free to go after that. But yeah, it's definitely not a good thing.
Yeah, no, that's just terrible to hear about.
Yeah, I mean that's
even it just regardless of the shooting, even just hearing a kid being orphaned is still terrible.
Yeah, because I mean, I did read the interview of the woman who saved the kid, and I like honestly, it's fucked up because it's like I don't know how one parent died, but I do know how the other one did. One of the parents, I believe, was killed shielding the kid from bullets. So this
Damn.
woman who saved the kid pretty much had to like basically pull that kid out from under them and
Yeah,
like run off with them. Like, and everyone's just
that's
running for their
terrible.
lives, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, dude. That's
Yeah. Like
like,
in the video I saw, all you hear, you see the band going by, dun, 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 dun,
and you
dun,
start hearing
dun, and then you hear
gunshots.
do 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 do, and everyone just starts sprinting.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Is
Like,
like it's become such a thing in like America now that like anytime anyone hears remotely what they think is a gunshot, everyone just
oh,
like
we're gone.
scatters. Because like I'll be the first to admit, I live in California, right? We don't have that many mass shootings over here,
Right.
because we have sensible gun laws. But sorry. And now we're back. Welcome. Sorry, we had to deal with a bunch of technical difficulties and a dog. But
Jesus Christ.
yeah, basically to like put it in like a thing is like back to what I was saying, like as just I mean like Americans at this point, anytime most of us hear what we think is a gunshot remotely, most people scatter. And I mean,
Well, I was about to say, I would say that's very true in like in your state where the gun laws are more strict. I wouldn't really say that in Florida
I
because
know I
the
just mean
problem
in
is
like areas that aren't prone to it. Cuz like
yeah,
here's the
yes.
thing, like in areas where it like isn't prone to it, or it's like areas that are likely to be targeted for a mass shooting, everyone seems a bit more on edge. And the reason I say that is because like take for example the Mission in San Francisco, right? We have gangs down there, and I mean, hell, I've heard a shooting down there once or twice. That's like just two people going at it. And I mean, right there, that's not what really worries me, because it's like, yeah, sure, a stray bullet could happen, but I mean, they're aiming at each other, not just into a crowd. But like, for example, where was this?
Which one are you thinking of?
I want to say this was Oregon. No, this is like a personal experience of mine.
Oh, okay.
I want to say this was in Oregon like 2 years ago. I took a small trip,
Right.
and this is just one thing that happened, but like some people set off a firecracker, and I noticed a lot of people were all of a sudden on edge.
Yeah.
Like it
Oh,
wasn't
yeah.
like everyone kind of scattered. It was more like people started acting a bit erratic. They were kind of walking along sides of walls and stuff like that, staying out
Yeah.
of like general open
Yeah.
spaces. And I'm just like, I know it was a firecracker because I know what a firecracker versus a gunshot sounds like, but like
Gunshot sounds like there's a big difference.
there's a
Totally
very big difference. But like I noticed everyone kind of like started acting a bit erratically and keeping like
Started uneasy.
yeah, and I was just like, all right, because it's like it's weird. Like it's like any time something like that happens. Because I feel like in other countries like where mass shootings aren't common, aka I think everywhere outside of America, I like it's definitely like more of a common thing where it's like, you know, if someone hears a firework, they don't start acting erratically or stuff like that, or like a loud noise that could similarly sound like a gunshot. Like they don't start acting like that because they're not like consistently worried about is something going to happen. Because like
Right.
if you hear someone set off a firecracker inside a mall, I guarantee you most people who are Americans are gonna scatter.
I'm good. I'm all right.
Yeah, right.
Even
like
if it is just a firecracker, still.
yeah, no,
I'm good.
I'm getting the fuck out of there. Like I don't like even if I can like tell that it was a firecracker, I'm still getting the fuck out of there. I don't trust that shit.
Yeah.
Because like fuck that. I don't need to find out if that's
But
like a
also-
distraction or something.
Yeah, what I was about to say about Florida is because there's a lot of reserves and stuff.
It's normal to
there's
hear
a lot
it.
of hunting as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, I have heard gunshots just out in my backyard before, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, but it's like a mile off. Like you can hear it from, you can hear big
It
rifles,
echoes.
some big rifle shots. Sometimes it
It
echoes.
echoes. Yeah.
for
Like
miles.
there's the same
And
thing in my
Florida is
area.
just this, yeah,
Like
Florida
at
is just
police
this
training
super
grounds.
flat area.
Yeah, like the only reason it doesn't echo in my city is because we've got a bunch of hills. But like the police
You have a
training
bunch of
grounds,
concrete and buildings, right?
yeah, like but on police training grounds, and I'm like driving by them, I'll just hear gunshots going off, and I'm just like, okay.
Oh yeah.
Like I didn't know. Like I'll be honest, one place I drive by pretty frequently has a first responder training ground, and like they do live fire there. I didn't know about that for like 3 years straight. So anytime I drove or walked by that area, I'd hear gunshots, and I was always just like, "What the fuck's going on?"
Right.
Where's
Where
dude?
this came from?
Yeah, I was about to say, it's not moving. Into the couch it goes. But yeah, it's just kind of like one of those things.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's interesting. True story. Behind where I work, I used to wonder. This is just a complete side tangent, but like behind where I work, I used to always wonder why cops would sit in front of our plaza, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna dox myself where I work, but like there's two buildings. We're part of two big buildings, right?
Yeah.
There's a restaurant and then there's a store next to us, like a big store.
Yeah.
And behind those are office buildings in the back. And I always used to wonder why cops would go in and out, or sit on the corner of the plaza. And I'm like, oh yeah, there's just where they go to confiscate like guns and stuff like that.
Oh, there's one of
And
those there. There's a.
you could come
Oh.
you can come claim them, right?
Oh, okay. It's one of those.
Yeah.
Shit. All right.
Yep. Yeah, didn't know that. It's a weapons depository over there. I'm like, okay, cool.
Not my problem.
All right. But yeah. And I guess speaking of acts of violence, the former
Prime Minister. Yeah, the former Prime Minister of Japan was assassinated.
Yeah, wasn't it in just like open day?
So what it was is he was out somewhere giving a speech, right? As like the former prime minister, and this dude had built a makeshift shotgun. It wasn't even a real gun. He had like put this together himself, like, and just walked up behind him and shot him twice with it.
Oh yeah.
Like, if I could find a photo of the gun, it'll be like right here. But it was like a makeshift shot. It doesn't even look like a real gun, is the thing.
That's crazy.
Yeah. At least I need to figure out if like what I saw was the real photo. But like that's in Japan.
The motivation. What's the motivation?
Yeah, I mean he was a well-liked person. That's the thing.
I was about to say he was their longest running prime minister.
Yeah, he's a very well-liked person. He was a very well-liked person. Like I mean hell, even other countries loved him.
I was about to say there's a bunch of other companies giving their respects for him right now.
Yeah, Obama being one of them.
Yeah, and I will say I'm gonna say this I'm gonna give this out to everyone who may even think about this. There is a disgusting group of people that are trying to use his death and cancel and just say we're glad he's dead and make fun of the quote unquote weeaboo things, and now basically they're like tweets basically like, oh yeah, the fucking Weeb King died.
Yeah, no, they're doing that. And you know what else?
Disrespect. That is wrong. That is wrong and disrespectful.
No, but like there's that, right? And you know what else? What other group there is doing this?
What?
There's now another group basically trying to claim that America is not as bad as it seems because other countries have mass shoot. Like no.
Not as bad as it seems.
Yeah, no, that's what they're saying is because they're like, see, like in the height of all this, and I'm just like, I just like to state, I guarantee you, and I mean 100% guarantee the only reason that poor prime minister was killed was specifically because of what's going on here. Like, I don't think people realize just how much
politically motivated.
I mean, it definitely is, but like, I also don't think he would have been killed if we had been like, if like worldwide news isn't broadcasting an American shooting every other week.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, because it's not hard to find. Like, I have friends in other countries who just get wind of this from their local news. They're like, oh, hey, I heard about a shooting. And I'm just like, yep, it happened.
Yeah.
And it's because like that.
The crazy thing is the fact that you said he made the shotgun. You want to know why? And you see how he had to make it. He had to physically make it. This is what am I trying to say? Japan has very strict gun laws.
They do.
Like it is very.
There's some of the strictest.
Very rarely, very rarely you will see someone in public with a weapon that is not an officer. Very rarely.
Yeah, here, let me see if I can actually find the image of that.
But the fact that he made it is just crazy to me.
Yeah, no, it was like a fucking made shotgun. That's the stupid thing.
Yeah, it's like he had such the motivation to abide by all these laws and apparently learn how to make a gun.
Oh wait, no, hold on. Apparently they know why he was killed.
Oh.
On a news headline here, it says, assassin reveals he shot the former Japan Prime Minister over a grudge against the Unification Church.
Are you fucking kidding me? This was a religious reason?
Hell if I know. That's what it lists here. Hold on.
Is this fucking 1722?
Hold on. Let me see this. Tetsuya Yagami... Tetsuya Yamagami, the man arrested for the assassination of Japan's former prime minister, told police he held a grudge against the religious group that he believed the leader had promoted.
Are you fucking kidding
me? He shot him over that, really.
Is this the fucking 1700s? This is what we've come to now?
Yamagami, 41, reportedly told authorities that his mother went bankrupt after making a huge donation to the Family Federation for World Peace and Unification, also known as the Unification Church. Nara Prefectural Police said the suspect blamed his mother's financial issues on the religious group and intended to kill Prime Minister based on the assumption that the former Prime Minister was affiliated with the Unification Church. Bruh. That's why?
He wasn't even affiliated. He wasn't even affiliated. Oh my god, bro. So it was just a dumbass. It was literally just a dumbass.
Yeah, it was. Also, I'd like to state this. On Monday, Nara police said they discovered bullet holes at a facility run by the church. Yamagami reportedly admitted to firing practice rounds the day before Abe was fatally shot in the chest and neck while delivering a speech at a campaign event in the Japanese city of Nara on Friday. It gets worse. Several improvised guns were seized from Yamagami's apartment, the police said on Friday. The firearm he reportedly shot... Several. The firearm he reportedly shot the Prime Minister with was a double-barreled homemade gun that measured approximately 16 inches long and 7 inches wide. Jesus Christ. While the Unification Church said it did not have a direct relationship with the former Japanese leader, Tanaka admitted that Abe expressed support for the global peace movement. Bruh. Yeah, I'm looking at an image right here. That gun does not look real at all. It's like duct tape around the barrel. It's literally duct taped around the barrel. It's got like batteries and shit strapped to it and so forth. It doesn't even look real. So this dude was killed for literally no reason. It's not even politically motivated. It was literally just like a financial thing. Fuck off, dude. Oof, you good? Oof.
You can't even hear me.
Oh, now I can.
I didn't know. I didn't know you couldn't hear me while I'm at past the remote. My bad.
No, yeah, I couldn't hear it all.
I'm walking out the room real quick. That's why I'm frozen. But
all good. But yeah, he got killed for that.
That's such a stupid reason for that. I mean, is this? God.
That's fucked.
I deafened myself in Discord.
Rip.
Isn't the? I don't understand how we're still fighting over religious stuff in.
It's stupid. It's so stupid. It's like
22.
Like, I mean, that's the thing. Is like, I'm gonna say this right now, and I mean, take offense to it. Don't take offense to it. I don't care at this point. Religion has become a problem, and I say this not because the belief is the problem, but the fact that the churches are now starting to blur with the lines of life.
Yeah,
that is the problem.
I'd say not the church. I'd say not necessarily like the churches, but the people that follow it. They're starting to twist it.
No, I'm saying the churches just specifically because it's like, take like separation of church and state in America. It's becoming like a thing. Take with the Roe v. Wade ban. You know. And it's also, did you hear the other act the Supreme Court passed?
I did not hear about the other act that they passed. So what did they pass?
So it's now allowed for like teachers to lead students in prayer.
Yeah, in public places. Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw
in
that.
public places. So that
Saw
is
that.
like directly like I'll tell you this right now. The second, and I mean the second, there's like a Muslim teacher or something like that that tries to lead
Mhm.
students like that, they're going to claim it's a terrorist attack and that dude's going to jail.
No, but the thing is,
It's also
there's actually a
indoctrinating.
verse in the Bible. I don't have this quoted, but I can actually pull this up. I actually have receipts for this one. There's a
I'll bet.
quote in the Bible that literally God said not to pray in public.
Yeah, no.
You should pray in the privacy of your own home.
Or a church, or something like that.
Yes, or a church, or
Like
or
a
a place of
desecrated worship ground, or your house, not in public. Like, and I mean, like, I'm gonna say this right now. A lot of religious people, you guys are taking shit way too far at this point. And I mean, I don't care how many people this offends. You're becoming a problem. Not all of you, not everyone who's religious is becoming it, but quite a bit.
No,
'Cause
not at all.
it's not everyone.
I think religion. I think religion is very is a fundamental part of society. Right?
It is like
We do
people.
I do think we do need a religion for it's to give the
It's-
human thing of something to give hope.
It
right?
well, yeah, it's
Something to hold
like
on to, no matter what.
it's cultural things, but also on top of that, it's like it for some people they need the reassurance, the comfort of like there's something after all of this. There's a reason we're here.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, not everyone
Yeah.
needs it. I'm not
there's-
religious, but like there are people
nothing
out
wrong
there
with
that
it,
need
yeah.
that. There's nothing wrong with needing it or not needing it. And I
Mhm.
mean, but like there's a lot of people out there who are starting to blur the lines of it all as a belief more as like a requirement. Because I mean, there's a video I saw months ago. I can't remember what like exactly the specifications of it were, but there's this group of Christians that had gotten a guitar on a plane and some shit, and they were just playing the guitar, singing about like Jesus or something like that on like a public flight. Like they're going up and down the aisle, no one's in their seats, and I'm just like,
Come on now.
if I was on that flight, and I mean, I know this is gonna sound like, you know, oh, it's an internet tough guy thing. No, I would have knocked that guitar out of their hands. Like, if I'm stuck on a flight,
I'm sorry.
if I'm stuck on a flight
don't
for a few
need-
hours, I'm already ticked off because I have so many problems whenever I go to the airport. It annoys the shit out of me. So whenever I'm on a flight, I am, by pre-definition, already pissed off. Like, I can talk to people and everything. I'm like perfectly fine with that. But like, if you do something to get on my fucking nerves, like, I'm gonna snap. Because it's
we're
like,
gonna have a problem.
yeah, because it's like, all right, again, I don't care what your beliefs are. All right, believe in whatever the fuck you want. Like,
Yeah, I don't care.
I literally could give like you could literally call fucking Santa Claus God for all I give a shit about.
Allah, God, Ra, I don't care, bro.
Yeah. You could literally worship a fucking chicken. I do not care. Whatever. Well, like whatsoever. But if you start bringing that shit around, starting to shove it down other people's throats, oh boy, we're
That's
gonna have an issue.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah. Like on that flight, I would have
myself-
snapped.
Yeah, like I myself, I don't really even know what to call myself, right? Because I'm not necessarily an atheist, right?
Agnostic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
because agnostic, for those who don't
maybe
know,
there's something out there. Maybe there isn't. I don't really care.
yeah, the agnostic, for those who don't know, is kind of the religion of not giving a shit. I mean,
Yeah.
that jokingly, I guess, but like it's pretty much like
Yeah.
you believe that there might be something out there, might not be, but you don't really care to follow a certain belief system, but you also don't believe for sure that there's nothing out there. Like that's
exactly.
what I am. Is like I'm
gonna
not
say there's nothing.
I'm not an
at all.
atheist because I don't believe that. Like, I don't believe there's a God. I'll say that right now. I don't believe God exists, but I also don't believe there's nothing out there. Because I mean,
Yeah.
you know, the Big Bang and everything like that. If this universe is eventually going to fade away into absolute pure black nothingness, what the fuck started it in that case?
Exactly.
Like, it can't just be like, oh, you know, there was nothing before and then explosion, it's there. Like, no, the fuck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No. Even science that even tries to explain, like the Big Bang theory, right?
Yeah.
Sure, it's been proven by the background microwave thing, and you know it's been proven
Yeah.
as a scientific theory, right?
Yeah.
And another thing about religion is some religions like to discredit science just because it goes against their beliefs.
That's what I mean. That's another thing.
Science is not a study for religion to crash with. Scientists, even religious scientists, have said this, right?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You can believe whatever you want. Science is fact.
Like astronomers people think like astronomers are all atheists. No, there's a lot of Christian scientists. They are just stating what they see, right?
Yeah.
Stating well, that's the facts of what we see and what we observe as humans.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Is like most of them, I feel like a lot of people who like use religion to discredit science fail to understand that science is based on relative fact, whereas religion is not based on any facts. It's purely a belief system. That's all it is. For example, I don't know, take Christianity, right? Yeah, you can prove Jesus lived at some point in the past, right? But sure. you have zero way to prove that he did anything short of being a normal human, and you have zero way to prove that any of the events of the Bible ever actually happened. Because, again,
written down in history.
Yeah, it's sure it's written down in history, but again,
it's written down in a book, but that's...
It's written down in a book, but you also got to remember, I'm not saying this is the absolute truth, but you also got to remember, I don't know, take the story of the 10 Commandments, right? You know, a guy goes up onto a mountain alone, comes back down with 10 Commandments. Y'all are aware that could have been just a con artist.
Yeah.
It could have been. It's not like they didn't exist back then. The dude could have gone up there and planted those days ago, walked up alone, picked those up, and came down and was like, I'm spreading the word of God. And meanwhile, he's just some dude who wanted to make money.
There's actually a Nordic theory. I think you would actually like this. There's a Nordic theory that Loki, the trickster god, actually secretly killed all of the gods and has literally, because he is the trickster god, tricked humanity into thinking he is the one true god when time started, right?
Yeah.
And gave his sermon to Jesus. Right?
Gave it to Jesus, gave it to every other prophet and everything like that. Oh, that's glorious.
But no, that's interesting, right? It's an interesting concept.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing.
It's like if Loki got away with it.
Yeah.
That would be crazy.
That's the other thing, though, that I really like to think about when it comes to religion, is a lot of people are always like, oh, I'm the correct religion. No, none of yours are correct. Because for all you know, you're all worshiping the same thing or one god out of billions.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, for example, I'm just gonna take a movie, completely fictional movie that has nothing to do with religion, by the way. But I'm gonna take a movie into this real quick. For those who have seen the Marvel's Eternals, that movie, if you think about it, say there are bigger life forms out there, right? Things like that, things that we would call gods, but they're not necessarily gods.
Right.
Have you see it? Did you see Eternals?
I have not.
Okay. Yeah, they're these.
I understand the concept of it. I understand the
it's like the big giants in those movies, like Erisham or whatever his name was. It's that. We would, if we saw that in real life, we would regard that as a god. But for all we know, they're gonna die eventually.
Exactly.
That's the thing. The things we can call gods and all of that, because if we're being honest, we have no idea what's out there. We know so little in comparison. Idea. We know so little into what comparison this universe actually has knowledge for us. We haven't even scratched the surface of it.
No, we haven't.
We're still millions of miles away from that surface.
And what's crazy is even if we ever discover the multiverse theory is true, right?
Yeah.
The theory of the multiverse. If we ever find out that's true, then the ongoing theory right now is that every single universe, quote unquote, bubble has its own unique set of physics.
Well, yeah, no, that would be true.
That would mean the speed of light is totally different in an entirely different universe.
Well, yeah, because that's the thing about it. That's the thing about it. Because with the multiverse theory, it's interesting in a sense, because it's the multiverse theory. In most theories like that, it always said that it's never the exact same. It's always a little bit different. And that means there is an infinite possibility, not only of the lives that humans would lead and the different humans that would be in those universes, but just the intricate little differences. Like, for example,
And would
say
they
like
even
Earth
be
is
humans?
yeah, they wouldn't even be humans. Like, say Earth is like 1 centimeter larger, and instead of humans, like there's like fucking chickens that are the dominant life force.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? Is a common fact that most people don't know. If the dinosaurs weren't killed off, raptors probably would have became
They would have. They were the smartest
about as smart
dinosaur.
as us.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
the
about as
smartest
smart as
dinosaur
us. They
by
become as
far.
us eventually. They
Yeah.
become a civilization. They were learning very quickly.
Well, that's the creepy
They
thing.
would
Is
run in
like,
packs.
yeah,
They
well,
had. They actually had. They had like a wolf like.
a wolf-like mentality.
Yeah, sort of, right? They hunted in packs. They all cared for each other, but they were like close to starting banging rocks together
Yeah,
and start figuring out things.
yeah.
Give
Well,
give them 40,000 more years, and what would have happened?
yeah. I mean, well, that's the interesting thing. Is like, what so many people I think fail to realize is like, people act like humans are special, and I mean, yes, like in a sense we are. Like, we became a pretty
We
dominant
are.
life force. We built cities, we built technology, and so much of this. But like, what people need to realize is like, we're just like those dinosaurs.
So lucky.
We are like,
Dude, we are so lucky.
if one meteor got knocked off course and hit this planet, we would be the next dinosaurs.
We wouldn't
like,
exist.
we
Yep.
would be the sixth extinction event on this planet.
And see what's crazy is like people think about like climate change and the end of the world happening, right?
It's
and people
minuscule in comparison.
Well, the Earth would just die after that. There'd be nothing after this. No. The
No,
Earth would not give a single shit.
because that's
Sure,
what
it may be a hellstorm for like 1,000 years, but guess what? As
it'll
soon as that's over, it's right back on schedule, my friend.
it'll correct itself. Because I mean, this is like, for those
It
who don't
will
know, I'm writing a book
correct.
series in it,
Mhm.
and in it I have like a quote that what was it exactly? It's like, I believe the quote was something along the lines of, "We are but a footnote in the Earth's history. Humanity could go extinct, and the Earth would never realize it." Because at the end of the day, like, if humanity one day just at the drop of a hat, like, vanished or just all died off, this planet, while the damage we've done to it is there, it would reverse itself in such a short period of time.
Oh yeah.
Like, I just like to state, like, the beginning of the pandemic, the hole in the ozone layer closed up because
Yeah,
we
that,
all
like-
just
like
stopped going outside for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And
That's crazy to even think about.
yeah, like in 2 weeks, the hole that has been a problem for decades
It wasn't
disappeared.
Okay. Clarification. It wasn't in 2 weeks, but but to just think how
staying
much
inside for
damage
2
we've done
weeks.
to the ozone layer since the entire industrial revolution, basically the last 100 to 200 years, right?
Yeah,
All of that emissions that we just think are now fixed.
it
in the
fixed
ozone layer
itself
just
in
because of
less than 2
2
years.
of reduction. Yes.
Like, that's the thing. Like, if you just shut off the planet, and I mean the entire planet, for a month,
It'd be chilling. It'd be fine.
just think of how
Drag it
much
back to
shit
it.
the Earth would fix itself. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
People believe we are like some kind of miracle species, and I mean, we're not. Like, if anything,
If you wanted to show us as a miracle species, why is there a trash pile bigger than the size of most countries in
Yeah.
in the middle of the ocean?
bigger than Texas, yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I just want to say, it's like, people think we are all that. Like, if anything, we're at the mercy of the entire universe. We have gotten
We
lucky
are
that
so
nothing has hit
basic.
our planet. Like,
Yeah.
and now the lucky thing is we have like models from NASA that can predict paths of asteroids and everything. So it's like,
No, actually. Well,
Some
let
of
me
them, not all
explain
of
how
them.
we predict. Yeah, let me explain how we predict meteors. This is actually pretty scary. We can't.
can we
True
predict
story.
some of them?
We can't track meteors coming at us. No.
Isn't
There's
it?
too many of them. They're so unpredictable with the amount of gravitational fields that are affecting them, with including the moon, the sun, the earth, other planets, the meteor belt itself.
I swear we've predicted
really
a few.
cannot track them. We've predicted 4.
Yeah.
in the last 50 years.
Okay.
Would you like to know how many have hit Earth?
A lot more than that, I know.
In the thousands.
Yeah. I mean, like, meteors are
You know how many
consistently falling to the planet, because it's like, what
at
people
all
don't
times?
realize is, like, yeah, what people don't realize is a lot of these meteors are too small to get through our atmosphere. They burn up.
And a lot of these meteors are actually just space junk, just
Yeah.
coming down and burning up.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I'm not counting space junk, but, like, yeah. Like,
Okay.
if
Well,
we have,
the
like,
thing is, like any object flying, coming into the
oh, do we just call it
atmosphere
space
like
junk?
that, it's called a meteor. It's called a meteorite.
Oh, I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, it's just like any object that comes from space and comes down. Once it's out the atmosphere, it's a meteorite. When it's in the atmosphere, it's a meteor.
Okay.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's like, when it comes down to all that, like, we've just gotten lucky that nothing has hit us since the dinosaurs. Like, nothing extinction level, I should say. Like, there's been videos, like, you know, that take that one dash cam footage in Russia of a meteor coming, like, down and it creating, like, the night sky turning into day.
one angle, 1% angle on that meteor, or make that size, the mass of that rock, up by 1%, and that's hitting our planet.
Yeah.
That hits some random spot.
Yeah. And I mean, I'd like to say, like, I believe I witnessed a meteor. I can't be sure, to be honest. Because I never saw any news reports about it. But what happened was I was just chilling. This was last year, actually. I was chilling outside in I was up in the mountains. I was at a camp and I was just chilling outside, and it was nighttime. It was like 9 p.m. The sky was dark, and all of a sudden, it, like, almost from, like, this weird angle, something flew over. Well, something flew over us. We don't know what it was. I never saw any news reports about it. But from Las Vegas all the way to the coast, to put in context, I'm in Yosemite area. So, like, if y'all know where Yosemite is, it's a national park.
So you literally watched it go over.
I was in Yosemite. I was in the mountains. And I'm just sitting there outside the cabin porch, and I'm just, like, vibing at night. And, like, I messaged a friend from Vegas. He said that the sky did light up. So over there it lit up. San Jose also had reports of that. And if you don't know where San Jose is, think San Francisco, but an hour south. It's basically Silicon Valley, tech hub of the world.
Yeah, I was about to say it's a little bit near San Diego, kind of near the border-ish.
No.
No, too far.
San Jose is near me. I can drive there in 50 minutes.
Oh, it's too. Yeah. It's a little more.
It's north. It's North California. It's Silicon Valley. You know, the Bay. It's at the very bottom of the Bay. But that's the thing, is, like, I saw it come over from the eastern side, go west, and I was like, oh, what the fuck was that? So I messaged a friend in Las Vegas, since, you know, closest person to me at the moment, since I was in the Sierra Nevadas, and he's like, yeah, the sky lit up, and I'm just like, all right, what the fuck? And then I look up news reports. San Jose is also reporting the next day the sky lit up in the middle of the night, and we're just like, what the fuck? Now, there were no reports of what it was, but, like, just the whole sky from Vegas to San Jose. And if you think of how much that is, driving from San Jose to Vegas is like an 8-hour drive.
Yeah.
If you're going, like, I believe 60 to 80 miles an hour. So, like, the whole sky just lit up like that, and it was like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, the only time I've actually seen a meteor in person was a shooting star.
Hell yeah.
Seen a couple out in my backyard. But the most interesting thing that I've seen, like, space-wise out of my backyard, is a tie between. I watched a satellite go off, from both SpaceX and NASA. NASA launched a radioactive satellite. That's what they gave the description as it is. Didn't say anything else about it. Not going to question any further.
Fair enough.
And SpaceX sent some of their Starlink satellites. It was like 4 a.m. I got to wake up and literally where I live in Florida, conveniently close to Cape Canaveral.
Where they did launch offs.
I can actually see the little. It's like a little rocket. It's probably about, from my perspective, it looks about 5 inches big. It's just a little streak that goes up in the sky, but I know exactly what it is, right?
Yeah,
Crazy.
that's awesome.
Yeah. I can actually see any launch that comes from Cape Canaveral.
Yeah.
Anything that comes in, I can see it. And Florida is also known as a hotspot for ISS spotting for the International Space Station. So to the point that I can literally look up in the clouds and see it going across the sky.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's currently out of Florida orbit. I don't think it comes back until next year. But once it comes into the Florida area, it stays for like 6 months.
It's just something to think about.
Yeah, it really
Like,
is.
just all this, and it's like, at the end of the day, like, the reason we're here is purely just luck.
Yep.
Like,
even the chances of you being born, the chances of specifically you,
it's like billions to one.
Are 400 trillion.
Trillion.
400
yeah. 400 trillion to one. Like, and I mean, that's to note. Like, it's incredibly cool that, like, any of us are here. Because, like, if you think about it, like, hell, go back to before humans evolved. You know, that meteorite hits the Earth 10 minutes later, and you have an entirely different group of people living on this planet all of a sudden.
Yep.
Like, none of us exist all of a sudden.
Exactly.
And I mean, that's one of the coolest things about it, is like the like the things that had to happen for all of us to exist like this is insane. Because like any one thing happens even a minute later, and suddenly billions of people are replaced by different people.
It's that's called the butterfly effect.
It is the butterfly effect. Yeah, it's one of my favorite things of all time. One of my favorite theories.
It's yeah, I was about to say it is. Now there is a difference between when we say theories, between scientific theories and regular theories, because
Yes.
scientific theories are proven. So like
Yes.
the Big Bang theory has fact and evidence behind it, right? So whenever we refer to the word theory, I feel as though that word is thrown around a lot.
It is.
especially
It is
in,
thrown
like,
around way too much.
conspiracies and stuff like that. So it has a really bad connotation, especially in science.
Yeah.
Like whenever we say the Big Bang theory, people go, "Oh, it's just a theory then." No.
No,
That's
it's a
how
scientific theory.
theories work. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think the butterfly effect counts as scientific theory, as in like there's.
It is not.
Yeah, because there's
It
no
is
way to
not
prove that it
scientifically
exists,
proven.
really. Yeah.
Yeah, because the only way for us to
Time
really
travel.
prove the butterfly effect is time travel.
That's it. Yeah. Because it's like.
Which isn't, by the way, is technically plausible. That there are I can't remember where it was, but we have caused time travel to happen. It has just been at a minuscule level, like we moved a particle 0.1 seconds into the past and watched it go back. Like we have evidence of it happening at the molecular level, but there's no real true evidence that we could do it, right?
Yeah. I mean, I just like to be the first to state this. I think it's a bad idea, because if the butterfly effect actually happens to be true.
It's real? I'm good, bro.
Yeah, because again, like as I
thing what
mentioned,
people
you
do
know,
with it.
that meteorite hits Earth 10 minutes later. An entirely different race of people is on this planet, and it's just like,
Yep.
think about what happens if we send someone to a different fucking time. Like, next thing you know, this moment right now would be World War III.
Yep.
Or World War VI, for all we fucking know.
And the funny thing is, even if time travelers did exist in the future, we'd never know. They
Yeah.
could be among us right now. And there's like there are pictures. There are pictures of like there's this the famous one. I can't remember the name of it, but I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you so we can put it up on screen.
Yeah.
But it's basically a picture of after a motorsports race. And you see the whole crowd, and you see the car, you see the driver there, right? But
Yeah.
in the crowd, you see a guy literally looks like he's wearing 70s clothing.
Oh yeah,
and
no,
has
I've
a
seen this.
Yeah, and has
Like-
like glasses, steampunk glasses,
No, yeah,
And it's like, what? What
I've
is
seen.
he doing here?
No, yeah, I've seen this because like there's other photos like it out there, which is the weird thing. Like I believe it, like just important events in history. There are like people who look like they do not belong at all.
Completely.
Like
The Mike Tyson fight. There's a person with an iPhone in the background. Mike Tyson fought that guy in 1990.
yeah, that's the thing.
Brick phones were out during that time.
Yeah, that's the thing is like it makes no sense because it's like yeah, some of them are Photoshop, but like there is also some that have been proven that they were not altered in any way, and it's just kind of like
some of them are. Sure, some of them are controversial, like the zebra movie from the 1920s. There's
yeah,
a woman that appears to be holding like something up to her ear, right?
yeah,
But they say it's a small music listening device that was like just super handheld. It was very popular back then. That's what we're assuming that it is.
yeah,
Because it just looks it's not really clear in the shot because you just see nice. Because you literally just see is her holding something small in her ear. You don't get to see what it is.
yeah. I mean, well, that's
And
the
of course,
thing.
it's 1920s.
Yeah, that's the weird thing is because it's like when you have to think about it, it's like yeah, sure, some of these photos are like fake, and it's been proven they are. But there's also some that I've like seen that like actual people like or professionals have looked over and they're like, no, this isn't edited at all.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So it kind of, like it begs
fuck?
the question, like, were these just the crazies of that time, or is this someone from like a different time just being incredibly stupid?
Yeah.
And I mean, that's the weird thing is like what you have to remember also about the butterfly effect, which is one thing. This is one effect of it that I find really fucking cool. Is like if you think about it, right? We could like if time travel exists in the future, we are being butterfly affected consistently, and we have no idea. Like
right now, and we have no idea how it's affecting us.
yeah, for example, like I believe
prove it either.
I believe there was a weird ass photo of someone at like the Kennedy assassination, for example. And the person didn't look like they belonged at all. Like I don't remember if that one was fake or not, or if it was ever even proven to be real. But like I remember
I've heard of the strange lady theory.
What's that?
There's this lady. There was this weird lady that was at the Kennedy assassination point, and she was like taking pictures really close to the limousine at the time of the assassination. There actually is a theory that she killed Kennedy somehow.
Interesting.
Don't really know how that worked.
Yeah, I don't know how that would work either. But yeah, that's the first I've heard of that. But no, there was like one photo of it. I don't know if it was ever proven to be real or not. But like there was like someone who looked way out of place in the crowd after he'd been shot, and that was the weird thing about it is like because if you think about it, it's kind of like all right, like if time travel was ever proven to be real, it's like could we have been butterfly affected by that?
Yeah, and hey, here's something for our audience right now. If you're watching some kind of public event and you see someone quite strange, notice it.
Yeah.
Take note of it.
Like, here's the thing.
Seriously,
make sure you, like, get an image of that and, like, a bunch of other things, because, like, well, yeah, it might just be, like, a joke, but, like, also at the same time,
sure,
you have no idea.
Yeah, it could be a common coincidence, right? But guess what? What if happens the next day if that guy dies?
Yeah.
Talking on the podium. Like... like whoever the political leader dies there, and that guy was there the day before it happened. Like,
yeah, like, and they look out of place. Like, it's not like, oh, they look kind of like from the past, because I mean, from the past would make a lot of sense. But like, if it's like one of those photos where it's like, oh, take the Mike Tyson fight, 1996, and it's just like the dude has an iPhone or something like that, or he has some sort of tech that we've never seen, and it's like, what the fuck? Take note of it, because it's like, what the fuck is it doing there, and who the fuck is this?
Yeah, and here, actually, we'll go down this road just because it involves this a little bit. We'll go down the UFO road because I think there's a lot of common misconception about UFOs.
You want to hear something cool?
Go ahead.
Well, not really cool. I mean, this is kind of common knowledge if you're like into this stuff, but like, take the pyramids for example, right? All the hieroglyphs that involve things that don't exactly look humanoid.
Yep.
Yeah, stuff like that. Because it's like, for example, like there's other life forms out there that have seen us and visited us before, but we have no fucking idea. Like,
yeah.
What people need to realize
is... That's the thing. Well, that's the thing. That we don't know that for sure, right?
We don't know for sure, but it's like a cool thing to theorize about.
it's a cool thing to think about because like you said, there are hieroglyphics showing entities that don't look like humans. There
Yeah,
are even cave drawings of flying saucers.
exactly. That's the thing.
Like
And it's like what you
even
have to remember is like take all of these. Good.
humans have been seeing UFOs since literally the dawn of we've been able to think and put down information
Even before we could
somehow, some
think,
way.
like it's a whole thing of that. Because I mean, like if you think about all this, like in just kind of a way like that, like if we've been seeing this since the dawn of man, then it's like, A, what the
There's
fuck,
gotta
and
be
B,
something.
what you have to remember is like there are so many things that like urban legends and stuff, and like where the fuck did you go?
Don't worry about it. It's okay. Keep going.
I, I looked away for a minute. I look back and you're gone.
And I'm just gone. I know. I'm reconnecting my headset.
Got you. But yeah, no, like how it goes, it's such a cool thing to think about because it's like when it comes down to it, like for all we know, like the people have like these other things have visited us before, and it's like we've been seeing him since the dawn of man. What the fuck? Like I completely lost my train of thought when you disappeared, but fuck, where was I?
God damn it.
It like just thinking about it, it's like there's also things in history that like have yet to be explained. Like I don't know, take like urban legend stuff and stuff like gods and so forth like that. Those things could have just been other life forms from other planets visiting us, and we just twisted it into that over the years. Like
For fuck's sake.
that's one thing I love to think about is like if you just take like certain things from religion, urban legends, and like so forth and myths out there. Like a lot of these things could have just been other life forms that came to our planet. And since we were unable to fathom them at the time, we created them into these legends of gods, mythical creatures, and so forth. Like, because I mean, that's one thing that like nowadays we like tell stories and all of this sort of thing. But like, if you think back then, like, yeah, we still told stories, but a lot of them were based off of something. We didn't just kind of come up with shit.
Right.
Like, it's just kind of all coming down to like, where did these stories of old come from and how did they get made? Like, what was the inspiration for them? Because, I mean, I don't know, I feel like you're taking it down to all of it. It's just kind of like that interesting thing.
Yeah, and there's an interesting thing about UFOs, right? That people don't realize. UFOs don't mean they're aliens, right?
They're just unidentified flying
UFOs
objects.
are just unidentified flying objects.
Yeah, like
period.
UFOs do not mean aliens. It means that there's something out there that we just can't figure out what it is.
We just don't know what it is. We have identified it as it existing and flying, but we don't know what it is, right?
Yeah.
And you know what the interesting thing about it is, about UFOs? I would like you to guess where the most UFO sightings are in the world.
Cornfields.
Where would you think? It is a specific place.
Oh.
Yeah. It's not a specific place in any part of the world, but
fucking
some
Stonehenge?
of these countries have these places. Let's put
Cornfields?
It that way. Nope.
Cities?
The answer: nuclear sites.
Ah.
Nuclear bomb sites.
Yeah. That.
Even during the Cold War, both sides, not just the U.S., but both sides,
reported seeing
reported
shit?
UFOs in the Caribbean.
All right.
In Cuba, just objects going. Just don't know what it is. We just don't know.
That's interesting.
And there's an interesting. I want to pull up what actual story this is based on. But I was listening to a podcast one time, and it was during the Cold War, right?
Yeah.
And I believe it was during during the Red Scare, and all that. And there was a unknown message from, I believe it was a U.S. It was either a U.S. or a Russian facility, right?
Yeah.
Don't know where it came from, and all it says is, "Why do you have these weapons?"
Oh, that's
Why
fucking
do you
freaky.
have these weapons if these weapons go off and anything goes bad, I will try to stop as many as I can. End of message.
That's fucking creepy, and I love that.
End of mess. That's it.
And they don't know where it came from. It just was a message that arrived.
It's not even like in. Yep, it's not even in. It's not like in English or any type of language. I believe it was in code. It was in a code of some kind.
Like Morse code or something like that?
Military. Yes, but this is like military recorded stuff. This is like something you could look up and officially find.
Oh, I know. But like, that's another thing. Is like, it's fucking cool. It's like, just the amount of like unexplained phenomena that exists. Like, when you think about it, like, all right, like, you know, you would assume normally that the universe would be teeming with life, right? And I mean, well, some people
would always be true.
Some people would like, but like, what I'd like to state is like, there's also another theory that I like, and it's called the Great Vacuum. And it's essentially the reason why the universe isn't teeming with life. There's something out there that is preventing so many of these life forces from evolving. And I mean, you know, while you know, it's probably the great vacuum makes it seem like it's some like sentient force that's like exterminating these. Like, no, it's literally just like meteorites and shit like that, probably hitting planets and so forth, like Earth and so forth. But you also have to remember, like, there has to be these things that like come down to it, and you know, like that will kind of affect the way life comes, because it's like, not life can't be found on every planet, because I mean, there's no evidence that life forces can exist on every planet. You good?
Right. Yeah. Here. Keep talking. I'll be right back. 1 sec.
All right. Like, yeah, there's no evidence that these life forces can exist on every planet. Like, sure, theoretically, it's possible, because it's like, you know, we are a carbon-based life form, I believe it's called. Right? No. Something like that. We're a certain based life form, but like, there's no evidence that these other life forces based on other elements can or can't exist. So it's something to think about, but it's like, yeah, why are we the only like life force that out there that we can see? And that's because it's like, yeah, well, Great Vacuum's a theory I like. It's like there's something out there in the universe preventing so many of these species from achieving space travel or achieving anything remotely off that can show that they're another part of their planet, to another planet that they exist. And that's one cool thing about it. But yeah, I mean, it's just something to think about with all that. But back to the shit we're talking about. Back to like the unidentified flying object thing that Oof was talking about. Yeah, like for those who don't know, UFO, like, yeah, when it comes to UFOs, it's like they don't always mean the same thing. What the fuck is going on? Yeah, like for example, there was a story at one point that I read, which there was like a photo of an unidentified flying object, kind of looked like, you know, like a kind of a vehicle flying through the air, right? And it was just a photo, and you know, the story behind it was literally the fact that these idiots had hooked their car chassis up to up to like this explosive like slingshot thing or whatever, and they shot it into the air, and that's what the photo of it was. Nice. Yeah, they shot it into the sky, and that's what the unidentified flying object was. Someone managed to grab a photo of it, but yeah, like it wasn't actually a UFO. It was just the fact these idiots shot a car up into the sky.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh yeah.
Well, we've
Are we at time?
We've gotten quite a. We're almost there. We're almost fucking there. Like, it's 6:10.
Oh shit! All right. I mean, we got like, I think 5 minutes, because we took a couple cut breaks in this.
Yeah, I was about to say we can take the 5 minutes since we're on the subject of space. There's actually two things I think. I don't know if we mentioned
the James Webb Telescope.
I can't remember if we didn't mention. Yeah. The pictures obviously we didn't mention, but I don't think we mentioned the black hole either.
I think we mentioned that before.
Well.
Okay, yeah.
Did we?
I thought we mentioned it before.
I think we did when it came out.
Yeah, we did. But yeah, basically to put it in perspective, the James Webb Telescope brought the first images back. Then one was a black hole at the center of our universe or galaxy.
Yeah, that was the first image that came back, and then the first 5 deep space images came back today or the other day, and they are nuts. Like, absolute, they look so crazy. Oh, yeah. I will again. They will be on screen here.
Yeah, I'll put them up, and I'll just put them in a sequence, so it'll be like one after the other.
Yep. So there's the cliff. I can't remember what it's called. It's like the cliffs of something.
I don't know what the pictures are called, so we're just gonna list them off as they
The
are. There's one
nebula.
that's there's the nebula one that'll be over
There's the
here.
cliff nebula. Yep.
There's the
There's
nebula.
the two spiraling galaxies together. The three, excuse me.
I thought it was 4.
There's was it 4? Whatever.
There was an amount of
there's a
galaxies
high
spiraling
detail.
together. And then there was
there's
this
a high detail galaxy picture. There's a full deep space picture of a bunch of galaxies.
Yeah, and I want
like
just
a
to highlight
cluster
real
of them.
quick before we skip off this image. This right here, this whole image, each light you see here, aside from the closest ones, I believe, are all galaxies. Like
Yeah.
they're all like the Milky Way, like the galaxy that we live in. These aren't stars. These have billions of planets in them.
Yeah, and you can see with this telescope, you can see even like the characteristics of the swirls in the spiral galaxies. You can actually see the full detail of it.
Yeah, like
And it actually
these
looks
are
so
each
good.
individual galaxies, and that's amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
There's they also have the one of the images isn't actually an image, it's a scan of a planet called WAS-9b, I believe.
Yeah.
And it is showing off the power of how the telescope can identify based on how the light spectrum comes and hits us.
Yeah.
What the atmosphere is made of. So showing that this gas giant, at least hundreds of light years away, is made out of water, and we're able to tell that from here.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's super cool.
Yeah.
We're able to look at exoplanets and be like, hey, we can go scan an exoplanet that we may think has Earth-like conditions, and be able to see, hey, this planet might have Earth-like conditions. We'll be able to see this so much easier.
Yeah.
Without having to study months of data and stuff like that. I'm trying to calculate it. The telescope can just get the scan done in a month and just tell you.
Yeah. And I mean, I like to say this right now. It's like, going back to the extraterrestrial talk and all that, like, I can't wait, because I mean, I guarantee you there's other life forms out there. There's no way we're the only one in this infinite universe of things. Like,
dude, there's no way.
If that's true, then I mean, something went wrong. Yeah, there's something wrong in that case.
Fuck.
Like, there's something wrong in that case. But
there are theories. There are theories on that, by the way, on us being the only ones, or us the reason why we can't find aliens and stuff like that. It's like the point of how far can a civilization go?
Yeah. Well, that's what I was talking about with the
we're
Great
at a
Vacuum.
certain level. Yeah.
Like,
we're at like a certain level in civilization, and we just haven't gotten past the certain universal level of we can see other people, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was talking about with the Great Vacuum as well. Is like, you know, the universe would be teeming with life, but the problem is there's something out there just wiping out these civilizations before they reach the point of space travel or anything like that. But like, yeah, as it comes down to it, it's like I can't wait for the day. Like, I probably want to even happen in our lifetimes, if I'm being honest. But like, I wish I could see people the day that like another life force is discovered, because that would be just fucking insane. Let's just hope they're friendly.
Oh God, please.
If they're anything like humans, we're about to get into an intergalactic war. That's not something we need. But yeah. I mean, I guess that's all for today, right? Oof.
Yeah, that would probably do it, as my headset dies again.
All right. Well, in that case, we're gonna end off here. We hope you all enjoyed, as always.
Sorry for the technical difficulties on my part today, guys, but
it's all good, man.
Next time.
It brings in some of the comedy to this podcast. But
of course.
As always, we hope you guys enjoyed. I just want to say real quick, if you guys want to be on the podcast, we're always looking for guests for these mid-month episodes. Feel free to send in an application. The link is in the YouTube description. It is also on all of the social medias. If you go to the Hell's Newsletter Twitter, it's in the pinned tweet. It's just all over there. If you guys want to send in Q&As for the end of the month episodes as well for us, feel free to send those in as well. The link is with the application as well. And I'm also going to be kind of trying to get the social medias up and running now. I know it's been a while since I said I was doing them, and I'm ADHD. I'm trying to get my meds so I can actually work with that. But yeah.
Ah, me too.
Hey. But
Let's
yeah.
go.
So essentially, I want to start doing like, because TikTok allows like 10-minute videos. I want to start doing these like 10-minute interviews with like people on TikTok and stuff like that, because I think it'd be really cool. Do stuff like that, kind of like other creators. So if you guys have anyone you want to see, feel free to, like, if you friended me on Discord or like are in my server, feel free to DM me some names you wanted me to try and get in contact with, or comment them on our videos, and I'll like reach out to people, see what I can order, or I can get in order. Because yeah, I mean, I'd love to start interviewing some bigger creators, like just kind of get them on here, getting like to know them a bit more, kind of. Hmm?
And it could be anything. It could be literally it could be anyone. Esports, stuff like that. I'd love. If
Yeah.
you know anyone I'd love to interview an esports person.
Yeah, no, like
I recently just got into that.
like I'll say this right now. It's like, it's not only going to be me doing the interviews on social media. Like Oof will conduct some, I'll conduct some. Like, if you guys want to see creators, esports people, hell, like just literally anyone, to be honest.
Even
like
sports, anything, literally.
Yeah, like this isn't just podcast. Like this isn't
One
just
of
like
us-
a creator podcast. This is everything. Like
Yeah.
anyone on the planet, pretty much.
Yeah, like I guarantee through both of I just knowing how both of our brains work, I guarantee that no matter what guest you tell us, we will know at least a little bit about the subject, right?
Yeah,
And if not, if it is a cool and interesting subject, cool.
we want to
Do
learn.
it. Send it anyway.
Like,
Please,
yeah, we
tell
want to
us
learn.
about it.
Like this is the whole thing about it. And I mean, just going on like a small tangent here for a little bit. Like this isn't just a creator podcast. Like the one thing that I have always hoped to do as a creator, and on this podcast at least, is like I want to create a sense of closeness and like kind of bridge the gap between what people, I hate the terms for this, like what people would call an ordinary person versus, celebrities. Like I want to bridge the gap, because at the same time we're all people here, and I want like there to be like a new level of closeness around that, because I mean, there's a lot of division in the world, and I think it'd be really nice to kind of bridge the gap between people, learn some more about these people, like these creators and these other people that people are like big fans of and like kind of idolize sometimes. It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you guys like have any of that, let us know. We'll try and get in contact with people and get stuff situated and sort of like that. And also, if you guys mention any names, like feel free to also like give us like a set of questions you want to know about them. Like we can't promise we'll ask everything, but like if you guys want to know stuff, give us some stuff to ask about them.
Yeah.
We can't promise we'll ask everything. We also can't promise that they'll answer everything, but like,
Hey, we can't. But hey, we'll try.
Yeah.
We will do our best.
yeah, 100%. And yeah, but as always, we do hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to share out this podcast. We want to get it out there a bit more. It's on Spotify, YouTube, the Amazon device that I can't name because there's one sitting right behind me. And wasn't there one more? Apple Music. That's it. But yeah, it's on all those. What was that?
Oh no, I was saying yep. I was agreeing with you.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's on all those. And if you want us to try and get the podcast on another platform as well, let us know.
Yeah, any other platforms? Feel free to DM me with that. I usually.
Oof's the one who handles the other platforms.
Yeah.
I mainly do social media management and YouTube. Oof does all the Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon device uploads. Yeah, I'm like the manager / outreach / YouTube person. That's me.
Indeed.
But yeah, so yeah, let us know with all that. As always, we'll be seeing you guys at the end of this month, and yeah,
Yeah. We'll talk to you next time.
have a good one, boys.
See ya.